Working overtime for a week straight, I just handed my paycheck to my mom, then turned around and saw the freshly cooked chicken. I couldn't resist grabbing a drumstick and taking a bite. The next second, I saw my mom rushing out of the kitchen, snatching the drumstick from my hand. "Why are you so greedy? It's a waste to give this to you, like you haven't eaten in 800 years. I was stunned, and my mom kept on chattering. "Sooner or later, you'll be married off. Why bother eating so well? If I had a son, he certainly wouldn't be as rude as you." My eyes reddened, and I looked at her in disbelief. "Since you like boys so much, why didn't you have one yourself? If I could still have children, would you even be here?" Saying this, while speaking, she fished out the chicken drumsticks and wings from the bowl and set them aside. Watching my mother's actions, I immediately activated the long dormant system. "I want to transfer the good pregnancy system, since you want a son so badly. Then let you have as many as you want." Hearing the prompt that the system transfer was successful, I finally felt relieved. "What are you just standing there for? You're not happy after I said a few words to you. Don't think that just because you handed over your salary, you can do whatever you want." Seeing me standing still, my mother stepped forward and gave me a hard push, her eyes full of disdain. "Hurry down and call Xiaoqing up to eat. The chicken legs will get cold and won't taste good later." I numbly went downstairs to call my cousin. As soon as he entered, my mother enthusiastically presented the chicken legs she had just set aside, as if offering a treasure, right in front of him. "Your favorite chicken legs and wings." Unexpectedly, my cousin looked disgusted and threw the chicken leg in front of him onto the ground. "How come we're eating chicken legs every day? I'm about to throw up. I want to eat Boston lobster." Instead of getting angry, my mother smiled warmly and said, "All right, if you're tired of it, we'll have something else." Then she frowned and looked at me with displeasure. "Your cousin wants to eat Boston lobster. Are you deaf? Hurry up and go buy it." Although such things have become routine for me, I still can't help but feel a pang of bitterness inside. "I've given you all my salary. I have no money." Mom impatiently took out a few $100s and threw them at me. "Hurry up. Don't let my little Ching go hungry." My little Ching, what an affectionate nickname, one I haven't heard in 24 years. I clutched the money tightly, feeling nothing but a chill in my heart. When I returned with the lobster, my mother eagerly took it, her face full of reproach. "Why so slow? Look how hungry little Ching has become." The food was served, and Mom peeled the lobster and placed it in front of him. "Xiaoqing is amazing, enjoying his meal so heartily. He's definitely going to be a big boss in the future." I couldn't help but let out a scoff. Mom glared at me, her eyes wide with anger. "Yifun, is it just because there's no lobster for you? Is that really worth being so sarcastic about? All you think about every day is competing with Xiaoqing for food, like a starving ghost reincarnated." After saying that, she threw a bowl in front of me. I took a closer look and realized it was the chicken leg my cousin had thrown on the floor earlier. "Mom, it's already fallen on the ground. How can I eat it?" Watching my cousin devour his food with gusto, I couldn't help but feel my eyes welling up. "Why can't it be eaten? I've already washed it with water. If you don't want to eat it, fine. I'll just feed it to the dog." Without hesitation, Mom threw the chicken leg to the big yellow dog, which was drooling all over the floor. My cousin also looked up and made a mocking face at me. The whole family was happily enjoying themselves, as if I were the outsider. "Do you think you and Xiaoqing are the same? He's the one who will take care of us in our old age." Mom's tone was full of impatience. I tried my best to suppress my emotions and reduce my embarrassment. "Since my cousin is taking care of you in your old age, I won't hand over a single penny of my salary from now on." Dad slammed his chopsticks on the floor and pounded the table so hard it shook. "Zhang Mailan, this is the child you gave birth to." Hearing my father's scolding, my mother stepped forward and slapped me hard across the face, her eyes fixed on me fiercely. "Ever since I gave birth to you, my life has never been smooth. What's wrong with us finding someone to rely on now? Don't think you can act arrogant just because you have some ability. No matter what, you're still a lowly woman." I covered my face and glared back at her fiercely. "If you had the chance, would you still have given birth to me?" There was a struggle in my mother's eyes, but it quickly turned into resolve. "If I had the chance, I'd rather have 100 sons than a worthless daughter like you." I held back my tears. Soon, her dream would come true. Hearing the commotion, Auntie from downstairs rushed up immediately. Ivan, don't take your mother's words to heart. She says one thing but means another. I brushed her hand off of me. Aunt, stop pretending in front of me. It was you who suggested that my cousin should take care of my parents in their old age, wasn't it? You really have some nerve, sweet-talking them into serving your whole family like dogs with just a few words. As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of everyone present changed. My parents were furious, while my aunt felt guilty. Ye fun, do you think I'm giving you too much face? I'll tear your mouth apart. My father rushed over to hit me, but I easily blocked him. I won't get involved in your family matters. With that, my aunt grabbed my cousin and hurried away, not forgetting to take the unfinished lobster with her as they left. I'm warning you, if you ruin Xiao Cheng's plan to take care of us in our old age, I won't let you off the hook. Dad was so angry that his face turned bright red, leaning against the wall and coughing violently. Don't worry, I don't need to meddle in this matter. You'll mess it up yourselves eventually. After saying this, she ignored her parents' furious scolding and went back to her room. After all, her parents no longer had their own biological son and could only rely on their nephew, the only boy, to support them in their old age and carry on the family line. To ensure her cousin's family would willingly take on this responsibility, her parents even promised to leave all their property and money to him. But now it's different. Mom has already bound the lucky pregnancy system. So it's likely that good news will come to make them happy soon. By then, I don't believe they will still insist on leaving their inheritance to my cousin. Ever since transferring the lucky pregnancy system, I've been observing my mom's reactions every day, but it's been a week already, and there's still no sign of any change. I couldn't help but feel a bit anxious and woke up the main system. Could it be that my mother is too old to conceive? Why hasn't there been any reaction for so long? Host, rest assured, the system can help any female conceive and successfully give birth at any age. Hearing the system's words, I felt slightly relieved. Can the subsystem that's parasitizing my mother hear our conversation? No. The only function of the subsystem is to assist with pregnancy. For each person the subsystem's host successfully helps become pregnant, the main system's host receives 1 million, with no upper limit on the cumulative amount. I widened my eyes in shock. 1 pregnancy for 1 million. I started regretting not having brought this up earlier, missing out on such a great opportunity to make a fortune. But it's not too late now. Sure enough, just a few days after communicating with the system, my mom started showing a reaction. As soon as I got off work, I saw my mom vomiting into the trash can. I hurried over to check on her and noticed that her face had turned pale from vomiting. Yvonne, am I sick? Mom collapsed on the sofa, moaning in agony. I slightly raised the corner of my mouth, my eyes constantly darting toward her stomach. Mom, don't worry, I'll take you to the hospital right away. I rushed my mom to the maternity hospital. People in the hospital kept turning their heads, looking at my mom's already graying hair. Why did you bring me to the maternity hospital? My mom was terrified and wanted to leave, but I held her firmly in place. An obstetrics and gynecology hospital isn't just for pregnant women, there are other illnesses too, right? And what's more, she is indeed pregnant. The doctor looked at mom's test results, his brows so furrowed it could crush a fly. He then immediately called in a few colleagues. Several people were discussing in low voices while shaking their heads repeatedly. Mom nervously watched the doctors, her face turning deathly pale as she observed their reactions. She was gripping my hand so tightly that I had to pull it back in pain. Doctor, is my mom okay? She started vomiting really badly as soon as she got home today. The doctor looked up at us and, after a long pause, slowly began to speak. Zhang Milan, 60 years old. Your real age matches the one on your ID card, correct? Mom nodded timidly. The doctor fell silent again and continued examining the test results. Let's do another ultrasound. Mom was so frightened that her legs went weak, and it took her a long time to stand up shakily. Do you think I have some kind of terminal illness? Look at the expressions on those doctors' faces. I raised an eyebrow but didn't answer her, since any doctor would have the same reaction upon seeing a 60-year-old pregnant woman. While waiting for the results, my mother kept trembling uncontrollably and even started calling my father to make arrangements for her final affairs. With the test results in hand, my mother and I walked into the consultation room. The doctor looked at the ultrasound scan and widened his eyes in shock. Several doctors exchanged glances to confirm the findings before finally speaking. Zhang Milan, you're pregnant," before the doctor could finish speaking. My mother immediately stood up, pointed at the doctor's nose, and yelled, "You quack! I'm 60 years old and have long since gone through menopause. How could I possibly be pregnant?" As she said this, she tried to pull me away. "I told you to go to another hospital, but you insisted on coming to this maternity hospital. We've run into a bunch of quacks and wasted so much money for nothing." I pulled my mom to a stop. "Is it possible that you're really pregnant?" My mom, both embarrassed and annoyed, quickly covered my mouth. "Impossible, keep your voice down. I'm going to lose all face." My mom didn't believe she was pregnant and insisted on going to a different hospital. I immediately took my mother to the largest hospital. The test results still showed she was pregnant, and with quadruplets at that. My mother stood there in shock, staring at the test report over and over, still unable to believe she was pregnant. "At your age, it's no longer safe to carry a pregnancy. We recommend you terminate it. Moreover, quadruplets are a difficult delivery that even young people can hardly handle." Mom hadn't yet recovered from the shock of her own pregnancy and sat there in a daze, not saying a word. "Let's go back and discuss it." After thanking the doctor, I helped Mom home. It wasn't until we got home that my mother finally came to her senses. "Mom, the He family will have an heir now. You're going to have a son." That one sentence turned my mother's fear into joy. She immediately broke into a smile and gently touched her belly, saying, "I'm going to have a son." Dad, awakened by the noise, came out with an impatient look. "What's all the racket? Can't you see I'm sleeping?" Mom stepped forward, leaning sweetly against Dad. "Lao he, I'm pregnant, and it's quadruplets." Dad pushed her away with a look of disdain. "You're 60 years old and still pregnant. Do you really think you're an old clam producing pearls?" I stepped forward and handed the test results to Dad. "It's true, Mom is really pregnant. Wow, I really am something. Strong and healthy, for babies at once." Dad held the test results, grinning from ear to ear. "The doctor said Mom is older, and with quadruplets, it won't be easy to deliver." My parents' faces instantly changed. "You must keep the baby. This is the heir of the He family. He Yifun. Don't you dare try to persuade your mother to abort the child. You won't get a share of the family property in the future, so you'd better give up on that idea right now." My parents stood united, looking at me as if I were a thief. "I'm not trying to fight for the family property. I'm thinking about my mother's health." The knock on the door came right on time. Whenever my family mentioned the word family property, the aunt downstairs would automatically show up. "What's going on? Let's talk this out properly." The aunt naturally took a seat as she entered. I pouted and poured out my grievances to the aunt. "Aunt, Mom and Dad always listen to you. You must help me persuade them. I'm really thinking about my mom's health. How can she have a baby at 60 years old, and quadruplets at that?" "What?" Aunt stood up at once, her voice filled with disbelief. Mom and Dad didn't notice how terribly grim Aunt's expression was. Still immersed in the joy of having an heir, "I also suggest you terminate the pregnancy. Sister-in-law is so old. What if something goes wrong?" Mom was immediately displeased. "I haven't even given birth yet, and you're already cursing me to die. How heartless." Auntie quickly waved her hands to explain. "That's not what I meant. It's just that older mothers have a harder time giving birth, and besides, you have Xiao Qing to take care of you in your old age. There's no need for you to take such a big risk." Hearing this, Mom became even angrier. "Aren't you just trying to get me to abort the baby so that all our family's assets will go to your son in the future?" Seeing her thoughts exposed, the aunt flew into a rage out of humiliation. "Back then, it was your family who came begging my son to support you in your old age. If you regret it now, you must compensate our family with 100,000. My parents trembled with anger, pointing at the aunt and cursing loudly. In an instant, the situation became chaotic, and both sides came to blows. I watched the chaotic scene before me quietly, feeling extremely pleased. Finally, they finished, with several of them bruised and battered on their faces. "I'm telling you, when you can't have children anymore, don't even think about coming to beg my son to support you in your old age." After saying that, she slammed the door shut and stormed off. After a chaotic fight, Mom and Dad had also calmed down from their excitement. "Old he. Do you think I might die from giving birth to so many at once? I'm already this old, and the doctor said it's not suitable for me to have more children." Besides, what if I give birth to 4 more daughters? Mom expressed her concerns with a worried look. We must have this child. Our family finally has hope for a son. We can't let this opportunity slip away. Dad took a deep drag of his cigarette and said resolutely, I have a friend, go see him. If it's a girl, abort it. If it's a boy, keep it. Hearing this, a smile returned to Mom's face. Hastily, she had her father make the arrangements, and she would go for the checkup tomorrow. Early in the morning, my mother woke me up to accompany her to the examination. I got up quickly and took a taxi to my father's friend's clinic. My mother carefully looked around the clinic, trembling slightly, unsure whether from nervousness or fear. Doctor, is it a boy or a girl? Ha 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 ha, my brothers still got it, all 4 are boys. And they're all in excellent health. Mom let out a long sigh of relief, her eyes red and tears falling with joy. That's wonderful, I'm going to have a son. It seems the system didn't lie to me. This is a system that only produces boys, no girls. Enjoy this moment of joy, for what awaits them next is nothing but hardship. Mom rushed home excitedly and couldn't wait to share the news with Dad. Now let's see who dares to mock me, Jianhua, for not being able to have a son, tonight. Our family is going out to eat to celebrate properly. Mom's pregnancy symptoms were very severe, and in just a few months, she was worn down to the point of being unrecognizable. The 4 babies made her belly almost burst, and in the later stages, she could barely stand, spending her days lying in bed. This pregnancy was taken extremely seriously by my parents. At the slightest sign of discomfort, they rushed to the hospital for a full checkup. Terrified that something might happen and they would lose their 4 sons, the prenatal checkups nearly drained the family's savings, so they turned their gaze to me again. Ivan, see if you can find another part-time job. We don't have enough money at home. Impossible. I'm already working 12 hours a day and I'm exhausted. Father frowned, looking down at me from above. Are you going to just stand by and watch your 4 younger brothers starve to death? Aren't you strong and healthy yourself? Go find something on your own, I retorted without holding back. Dad raised his hand high, but in the end, Mom stopped him. She's the one we rely on for all the household expenses. If you drive her away, who's going to pay for raising the child? Dad angrily put his hand down and glared at me fiercely. Unable to get any more money from me, Dad eventually found a job at a construction site. 10 months of pregnancy, 1 day of childbirth. The moment my mother was about to give birth finally arrived. And I was so excited that I couldn't sleep all night. Just thinking about the 4 million that would soon be added to my account made me grin from ear to ear. Also unable to sleep was the aunt living downstairs. I'm afraid she spent the whole night praying that my mother wouldn't give birth to a son, but clearly, her prayers went unanswered. Not only did my mother give birth to 4 chubby, fair-skinned sons, but she was also in excellent condition, not at all like someone who had just given birth. I silently marveled at the self-healing function of the good pregnancy system, and my mood improved considerably as I looked at the 4 million in my account. That very day, the news of my 60-year-old mother giving birth to quadruplets made headlines in our local news. I showed the news to my parents, and they laughed so hard they couldn't straighten their backs, their faces filled with unconcealable pride. Now let's see if those village women dare to mock me for not being able to bear a son. So, the day after giving birth, my mother returned to the village in grand style with her 4 sons. She even specifically asked me to hire a band, and they returned to the village with drums and gongs playing all the way. Whenever she encountered someone, she would hand them the newspaper announcing the birth of her child, and she never tired of it. It wasn't until she was certain that every household knew she had given birth to 4 sons that my mother finally returned home, satisfied. All the way, tears welled up in her eyes, and she kept repeating the same phrase, I've given birth to sons, no one can laugh at me anymore. At that moment, my heart was filled with mixed emotions, and I looked at my mother with a complex expression, my eyes holding feelings I couldn't quite put into words. Yvonne, we're all getting on in years, and in the future, your younger brothers will still need to rely on you for support. When your younger brothers get married and buy houses, you'll have to help them out. After all, as the eldest sister, you're like a mother to them. Having 4 younger brothers, it'll be something to be proud of when you tell others. The sadness from earlier vanished completely at that moment. I responded softly. I turned around, opened my phone, and submitted an application to work abroad 3 months later. As soon as I got home, I saw my dad throwing all my belongings from my room into the living room. I hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. "Dad, what are you doing?" Dad impatiently pushed me aside. "The house isn't big enough for everyone anymore. You move into the kitchen." I pointed at the cramped kitchen in disbelief. "The kitchen is too small to even stand in. How am I supposed to sleep? Since there's no room for me in this house anymore, I'll just move out on my own." Mom panicked as soon as she heard I was moving out, lowering her voice to speak to Dad. "Now is when the family needs people the most. If you kick her out, who will take care of me and our son?" Dad also realized this, cleared his throat uncomfortably, and turned back to his room sullenly. "Just stay in the living room. Since your things are already out, when your younger brothers grow up, they can live in the living room anyway. It's only 3 months left, just endure these last few days, for children need to eat and drink, and the expenses are huge. The parents don't want to shortchange their son, only using the best, but in just a few days, the money they earn can't support 4 children. Mom is so anxious she's running around in circles." Suddenly, one day after work, I came home to see my mother sitting on the sofa, happily counting money. When I asked, I found out that a wealthy woman, married for over a decade but still childless, had seen the news about my mother giving birth to quadruplets at 60 and came to ask for advice on how to get pregnant. She gave a 100,000 yuan deposit and said she'd give me another million if I could help her get pregnant. My mother excitedly demonstrated how generous that woman was with her money. I raised my eyebrows in surprise and looked at my mom. "You don't even know how you got pregnant. How dare you take money from someone else?" Hearing this, my mom stomped her feet in anger. "How could I not know? If I didn't know, how did I give birth to your 4 younger brothers?" I smiled without saying a word, wondering how the wealthy woman would react when she found out my mom was lying to her. I've already passed on my experience to her. I looked up in confusion. "What experience?" Mom blushed. "Of course, experience in bed." I choked and my lips twitched. Indeed, the older generation is just so open. Suddenly, my mother stood up with a serious expression, and I was startled by her abrupt movement. Then she said, "No, I have to test it with your father again tonight. That woman doesn't look easy to deal with. If my method is wrong, what if she ends up killing me? Ivan, you need to stay somewhere else tonight." Without hesitation, she pushed me out the door. A smirk played at the corner of my mouth. "Looks like I'm getting another brother." Sure enough, within a few days, Mom started vomiting again. A checkup at the hospital confirmed it. She was pregnant again, and this time with triplets. This news absolutely thrilled my mom. "From now on, I'm going to be a rich woman." When I got home, I saw a gorgeously dressed, wealthy-looking woman with several bodyguards in black standing at my doorstep. My mother had never seen such a scene before and immediately shrank back in fear, hiding behind me. "Who are you, and what are you here for?" The leading wealthy woman sneered disdainfully. "Your mother deceived me, so of course I'm here to cause trouble today." Hearing this, Mother was not afraid either. She stretched out her neck and stepped forward. "Who deceived you?" "Everything I said was a secret recipe. Following my method, I'm pregnant again." The mother handed the medical report to the wealthy woman. The wealthy woman took one look, scrutinized the mother several times in disbelief, and finally asked her bodyguard to wait outside before following the mother into the house. Holding the wealthy woman's hand, the mother spoke with deep sincerity. "Dear sister, you can't rush pregnancy. Look at me. I didn't have my son until I was 60, but now that you've used my method, I'm sure it won't be long before you do." After saying that, she turned around, took a few pills, and handed them to the wealthy woman. "Take these pills when you're intimate, they'll work even better." The wealthy woman left with the pills, half convinced and half doubting, but before she left, she gave my mom 50,000 yuan. "Mom, what are those pills you gave that woman? Can they really help her get pregnant?" As soon as the wealthy woman left, I couldn't wait to ask my mother. My mother looked quite pleased with herself. "That's just vitamins. How could they help with pregnancy? The method I taught her is already enough to help her get pregnant. Those pills were just a way to make a little extra money." As she spoke, she proudly showed off the 50,000 yuan in front of me. "A few vitamin pills sold for so much money, almost as much as half a year of your salary. It seems I need to put out some ads to get others to come to me as well." No sooner said than done. Mom stayed up all night putting up many small advertisements promoting herself as a pregnancy expert. The results were good, with quite a few people coming to her door seeking her methods. Mom was so busy and happy. She made a large sum of money in just a few days. That day, while Mom was teaching her methods to more than 10 people in the house, the wealthy woman came again. Seeing that the wealthy woman hadn't brought her bodyguard, Mom thought she had successfully gotten pregnant. Without asking any questions, Mom warmly pulled the wealthy woman into the house and introduced her to everyone. "This is my first customer. She's here to thank me now that she's pregnant. Girl, no need for too many words of thanks. Your presence here today is my biggest endorsement. You're my first customer, so there's no need to settle the final payment. Consider it as you doing me a favor by spreading the word." Mom was so absorbed in her own world that she didn't notice the wealthy woman's face turning as dark as ink. "When did I ever say I was pregnant?" The wealthy woman gritted her teeth and forced out these words. Mother turned her head in confusion and saw that the bodyguards who had clearly not been there moments ago had reappeared, and there were even more of them than before. Mother panicked. "What are you doing? Murder is illegal." The wealthy woman sneered, looking at the trembling mother. "You're not afraid of committing fraud, so why should I be afraid of killing someone?" Thinking of the vitamin pill she had given her, Mother felt a bit guilty. "What fraud? I'm making money with my own skills." The wealthy woman threw the vitamin pills in front of her mother, along with the pill test report. The skill to sell me a few vitamin pills for 50,000 yuan. The people in the room immediately changed their expressions upon hearing this. "You dare to deceive us." The women present are all either wealthy or noble. Over the years, they have made countless attempts to get pregnant, but the one thing they cannot accept is deception. Smash it all. At the command, the bodyguards rushed in and smashed everything they could. Several children were frightened by the loud noise and burst into tears. They didn't stop until the house was in ruins. "I want to see every penny you swindled by tomorrow, not a cent less. For every cent missing, I'll smash this place for a day." Mom was frozen in place, her face full of terror. "Well, sister-in-law, what happened to your house? Did you do something wrong? You're welcome to come hide at my place." Mom didn't care about the aunt's sarcastic remarks at all at that moment. She dashed downstairs and hid. Now it was the aunt's turn to be left standing there dumbfounded. "Get out of here. Who told you to come into my house?" No matter how the aunt tried to drive her away, Mom stubbornly refused to come out. The angry aunt cursed. "So, my mother hid at my aunt's house for the whole day. When the time came to repay the money, the men in black arrived on schedule. She's at my house. Come and get her quickly." Seeing the person in black, the aunt excitedly waved, watching the person in black approach her house with an aggressive demeanor. Before she could even feel happy for a second, they started smashing things indiscriminately. "This is my home. Please stop smashing things. Her house is upstairs." But the person in black paid no attention at all. They finished smashing and left. The aunt's heart ached so much that tears streamed down her face. Mother tried to sneak out by bending over, but the aunt grabbed her firmly. "My house has been destroyed, and you still want to leave?" After saying that, she used all her strength to hit Mother fiercely. Dad went to work at the construction site for 2 days, and when he came back, he saw 2 women holding onto each other and fighting. "Big brother, you have to do something about your wife. She cheated people out of their money, and they came and smashed up the house, even wrecking ours too." Dad rushed up to take a look at the house. There wasn't a single place to even set foot. The 4 sons had been crying all night, and now their voices were so weak they were barely audible. Dad clenched his fists, came down, and harshly grabbed Mom by the hair, dragging her upstairs. "Just look at what you've done to this home." Mom lowered her head and sobbed quietly. "I just wanted to earn a little more money to give our son a better life. Now they're demanding I pay them back. But the money was already spent on buying things for our son. Where am I supposed to get the money?" Seeing that Dad was about to get physical, I quickly stepped in to stop him. "Dad, Mom is pregnant with triplets. Please don't hurt her." My father's eyes widened, and the joy he once had was completely gone from his face. "Go get an abortion. We can't afford it." But Mom shook her head. "We can't. I had someone check, and all of them are girls." Dad slammed the table and stood up. "If it's a girl, we should hit her even more. What's the point of giving birth to her?" Mom didn't hesitate to speak in front of me. "If we have a girl, we can have her take care of our child in the future." And when she grows up, we can even exchange her for a bride price." Hearing this, Dad slowly raised the corners of his mouth, silently agreeing with Mom's words. I sneered inwardly. "Who told them this baby is a girl? Host, your parents are planning to sell you for 300,000. In my sleep, I faintly heard the system calling me. "You're going to be sold the day after tomorrow." I responded calmly. "Aren't you in a hurry?" "Hurry, I'm going abroad for work tomorrow. So their plans will just fall through." "Yifun, a relative is coming over for dinner tonight. Dress up nicely." "Okay." After saying that, she stuffed a few bills into my hand. "Go quickly and buy yourself a nice outfit." I agreed and went out, then turned and went to a private detective, paying him 1 million. "From now on, I want you to keep an eye on my family and report any movements to me." After finishing all that, I went straight to the airport and changed my ticket to the earliest flight abroad. Anyone who has read the novel knows that if I go home again, I will definitely be set up. Although I would surely find a way out, why should I take that risk? As soon as I arrived at the airport, my mother's call came through. "Where are you?" "Everyone else is already here. We're just waiting for you. I'll be home in half an hour." Just as the plane was about to take off in half an hour, my mom's call came right on time. I glanced at it and turned off my phone to sleep. I woke up and had already arrived. I opened my phone, and it was filled with messages my mom had sent me. I ignored them and opened the private investigator's report on their activities. I saw that, after waiting all night without me showing up, one of the middle-aged men got furious and had someone smash the house that had just been restored into pieces again. They didn't dare to call the police and could only endure it helplessly. I felt extremely happy. This time I finally got rid of them completely. After that, Dad would go to the construction site to move bricks every day before dawn. And Mom would take the 4 children and, while pregnant, go out to set up a stall. We finally have 20,000 yuan. Before the money could even warm up, another group of people showed up at our door. The young detective showed me a video of my parents' current situation. "He Jianhua, Zhang Milan, right, when are you going to pay back the money you owe us? When did we ever owe you money?" My parents' voices trembled as they were intimidated by several burly men. The person in charge placed the online loan documents in front of them, and the parents were dumbfounded. "We really didn't borrow any money. Could this be a mistake? Although the names are ours, we never received the money." "I don't care about that. All I know is that the loan was taken out in your names." After saying this, they directly took away the 20,000 yuan the couple had worked so hard to earn. Mom burst into tears. "What have I done to deserve this?" They probably will never know that the money they used wasn't my salary that I handed over, but a loan I took out for them. Every penny I earned myself, I saved, because they don't deserve to be my parents. In the excitement, Mom went into premature labor, but now they have no money to go to the hospital and can only give birth at home. That night, the motion sensor light in the hallway stayed on all night. Finally, the baby was born. Along with the child came 3 million in my account. "How come it's a boy?" Mom collapsed and fainted. She didn't know how long she had been unconscious, but when she woke up, she only saw Dad silently smoking nearby. He didn't care at all that Mom was already coughing violently from the smoke. "Give me some water." Dad stood up and poured a pot of boiling water fiercely onto Mom. "Drink, I'll let you drink." "Didn't you say this one was a girl?" Mom screamed from the scalding and passed out again. I woke up in the hospital. The child at home was woken by hunger and cried incessantly, so the neighbors couldn't stand it and called the police. After forcing the door open, they found the mother who had already passed out. "Where is my family? Tell them to come pick me up. Your husband is likely missing. Based on his route, we suspect he has already left the country." Mother widened her eyes in disbelief. He ran away. He ran away. He actually abandoned his sons and ran away." Suddenly, as if remembering something, Mother said, "I have a daughter too. Find her for me. She has money and is still young. Register the children under her name." Several people present all frowned in unison. Seeing that the people in front of her remained unmoved, the mother grew anxious. "Officer, please help me find my daughter. I can't live without her. She was always so obedient before. Even if I didn't give her a meal for days, she would go out to work and earn some money to bring back. Even when I didn't pay her tuition, she still got into a prestigious university. You must help me find her." How come she disappeared just when I was about to sell her? The mother cried bitterly. But no one at the scene felt any sympathy for her. Ma'am, now you want your daughter back. I'm afraid she's long gone. It's a shame to have a mother like you. You're talking nonsense. How could my daughter possibly abandon me? Mom broke down and screamed. I'm calling her right now. She will definitely help me. Watching the video, I answered the phone. Mom looked excited. See, she answered. My daughter always listens to me. I'll put it on speaker so everyone can see how well she listens to me. Everyone looked at Mom with disdain, but at the same time, they all pricked up their ears to listen to the phone call. Yifun, where are you now? I've given birth to 3 more brothers for you. Your father ran away and abandoned us. Come back quickly. And also, these 3 brothers will be registered under your name from now on. You'll be responsible for raising them. Great. Hearing my immediate agreement, my mother grinned from ear to ear. Did you hear that? My daughter said yes. Everyone sighed with a look of regret. After my mom finished showing off, I said quietly, as long as you can find me, I'll give you a hint. I'm abroad. Mom was dumbfounded and instantly collapsed to the ground, tears streaming uncontrollably. It goes without saying how my parents' lives turned out afterward. They could never recover from that. I hung up the phone, blocked and deleted them in one go. From now on, I have nothing to do with them. I looked down at the once terrifying scars from the beatings I endured. After months of treatment, they're almost invisible now. Just as I've endured hardship, from now on, only happiness will follow.